I am Rajesh, Department of EEE, Vignas Nirla Institute of Technology and Science Program. In the last class, I explained about different types of materials and different types of conductor configurations that are being used in the erection of the transmission lines. Now, in this lecture, I am going to explain about different types of parameters that will be in three-phase transmission lines. So, an electric transmission line has four parameters, namely resistance, inductance, capacitance, and shunt conductance. These four parameters are uniformly distributed throughout the length of the line. See here in the picture, it is a transmission line where it is having a resistance R, inductance L, capacitance C, and shunt conductance C. So the line parameters are distributed parameters but can be lumped for the purpose of analysis on approximate basis. So as actually these are the parameters which are existed on the transmission line throughout the length of the transmission line. But for the simplification of analysis, we are taking these parameters as lumped parameters. So by taking these parameters as lumped parameters, of course we will get the simplification process. But anyhow, if the length of the transmission line is too long, it may lead to error due to taking this assumption of lumped parameters in the analysis. So here you can see the R and L are series parameters and C and C are the shunt parameters. Generally R is the ohmic resistance which will oppose the flow of current, and L is occurring because of flux linkage of the conductor, and capacitance is due to the charging current flowing between the line and line to ground, and G is the shunt conductance which is due to electric discharge occurring through the insulators of the transmission lines. Now coming to the resistance, if a DC current is flowing through the conductor, then obviously there will be opposition for the flow of current. So for the DC current, the resistance of the conductor will be RDC equals to rho L by A, where rho is the resistivity of the material and L is the conductor length and A is the cross sectional area of the conductor. Of course, in AC current, in the same conductor, if AC current is flowing, then the effective resistance is higher due to the frequency effect. If the same conductor is taken, if AC current is flowing through the conductor, V is passing through the conductor, then the effective resistance offered for the flow of alternating current will be the more when compared to DC. So Y means it is due to frequency effect. What is happening? What is frequency effect? Because of this frequency effect, the conductor carrying by the cross section of the conductor will be more when compared to the core part of the conductor. So current density at the core will be low when compared to current carrying capacity, that is current density at the surface of the conductor, because of the frequency effect. Now this is also called as skin effect. We will see it in the later sessions. So because of this, the effective area offered for the flow of alternating current will be varying. That's why the resistance will be somewhat different when compared to DC. Of course, temperature will also affect the value of resistance of a particular conductor material. Here you can see it in the mathematical relation where R2 equals to R1 into T plus T2 by T plus T1. That means where R2 is the resistance at second temperature. Suppose now the temperature is at 10 degrees centigrade. Now the temperature varies to 40 degrees centigrade. Due to variation of this 30 degrees centigrade, the resistance of the conductor material may vary. The resistance at new temperature of 40 degrees is R2. The previous resistance, that present resistance is R1. Now the temperature coefficient of the particular material is T. T is the temperature coefficient. So any conductor material may be having positive temperature coefficient or negative temperature coefficient. Positive temperature coefficient materials, in case of positive temperature coefficient materials, with the rise in temperature, the resistance of the material will rise. For the materials which are having negative temperature coefficient, the resistance will be dropped because of rise in temperature. This is the resistance and the effect of temperature on resistance. Now let us move to the second parameter, that is line inductance of a transmission line. So when an alternating current is flowing through the conductor, a changing flux is set up which links with the conductor. So flux will be set up around the conductor. So due to these flux linkages of the conductor, it possesses some inductance. So mathematically, inductance is defined as the flux linkage per ampere of the current. So mathematically it is L equals to psi by I. So whenever current is passing through the conductor, around the conductor flux linkages will be established. So because of these flux linkages, it possesses some inductance. So mathematically, this inductance L equals to psi by I. So where psi is the flux linkage, I is the current carried by the conductor. So which shows that the self-inductance of an electric circuit is numerically equal to the flux linkage of the circuit per unit ampere of current, as it is mentioned. Now, so as stated earlier, the inductance of this circuit is defined as the flux linkages per unit ampere of the current. Now let us derive the inductance for a single current carrying conductor. So inductance for single current carrying conductor. In order to derive the inductance of a single current carrying conductor, first we need to write the expression for flux of a single current carrying conductor. Then by taking psi by I current, we will get the inductance. So here we are going to see flux linkage due to single current carrying conductor. So here see it in the picture. The first figure is the current carrying side view of the conductor having a radius of r meters carrying a current of I amperes. Now see the second figure. It is the front view of the conductor. There we have taken a point which is at a distance of x meters from the center of the conductor, and there we have taken a cylindrical shell of dx. And see the analysis. So the magnetic here flux linkage means if a current is passing through a conductor, there will be a flux linking inside the conductor as well as the flux linking outside the conductor because of that current. So totally now we need to write the flux linkage inside the conductor as well as the flux linkage outside the conductor in order to get the total flux linkage. So now we are going to see flux linkage is due to internal flux. So the magnetic field intensity at a point x meters from the center is given by, now we are writing the magnetic field intensity at a point x meters from the center inside the conductor is Hx equals to Ix by 2 pi x. We know that I by 2 pi r is the field intensity H, that now we are writing the field intensity at point x meters from the center. That's why Hx equals to current at that point is Ix by radius of perimeter at that point is 2 pi x. So Ix by 2 pi x. As we are taking the current density is uniform throughout the conductor, that means current density at Ix meters is same as current density at the surface. That means Ix by pi x square is same as I by pi r square. Current density means current per cross sectional area. So from this I can write, see the second equation, Ix equals to pi x square by pi r square into I. So now from this, by keeping this Ix in the equation of Hx equals to x by 2 pi x square into I. Next, if mu is taken as permeability, mu equals to mu naught into mu r. So then we know that flux density B equals to mu naught into mu r into H. We are writing the flux density at a point x. So Vx equals to mu naught into mu r into Hx. Here I am taking mu r as 1. So then it becomes mu naught into, in the place of Hx we are keeping I into x by 2 pi r square. I into x by 2 pi r square. So this is the flux density. And now d phi, now a flux of d phi through a cylindrical shell of radial thickness dx and an axial length of 1 meter is given by. Now inside the conductor I am taking a cylindrical shell of thickness dx meters with an axial length of 1 meter. Now that part of flux is d phi equals to flux density into 1 into dx, where 1 is the axial length of 1 meter, dx is the thickness of the cylindrical shell part. So d phi equals to bx into 1 into dx. So from this, keeping the value of expression of bx here, we will get d phi equals to mu naught into x into I by 2 pi r square into dx. Now, so this flux links with the current Ix only. Therefore, the flux linkages per unit length of the conductor is d psi equals to pi x square by pi r square into d phi. As this d phi is the flux which is linking with the pi x square part only inside the conductor. So in order to get the flux linkage of this part only, we need to multiply this d phi with pi x square by area of this circle having x radius by area of the circle having r radius, pi x square by pi r square into this d phi gives the d psi. So which gives mu naught into Ix cube by 2 pi r power 4 into dx. So after getting d psi, the total flux linkages from the center to the conductor surface is, means total internal flux is psi internal equals to integral 0 to r mu naught I x I cube by 2 pi r power 4 dx. So by performing the integration operation, we will get mu naught into I by 8 pi. This is the total internal flux linkage. Now let us derive the flux linkage due to external flux linkages due to external flux. So let us take a point x meters. Let us take a point which is at a distance of x meters from this conductor surface. So from the conductor, now there also we are taking a shell of thickness dx. Now the external flux extends from surface of the conductor to the infinity. So see the figure. We are writing the field intensity at this point x, at this point which is located at x meters from the center of the conductor. Now Hx equals to field intensity at that point is Hx equals to I pi 2 pi x ampere turns per meter. Now from this I can write the flux density Px as mu x into Hx, sorry mu into Hx, where mu means mu naught into mu r. Again I am taking mu r as 1, so it is mu naught into Hx. So mu naught into Hx means I by 2 pi x per meter square. Next, now again I am taking a d phi, which is the flux of a cylindrical shell of thickness dx with an axial length of 1 meter. Again, at the outside of the conductor, I am taking a cylindrical shell of thickness dx meters with an axial length of 1 meter. 1 meter. So then, that d phi equals to, that part of flux d phi equals to flux density Bx into 1 into dx. So which will be mu naught I by 2 pi x dx. So from this, actually this flux d phi is links all the current in the conductor once. So you can write the flux linkage as d psi equals to d phi into 1. This flux is linking with the one conductor only. One conductor means here we can take it as one turn. So that means d phi into 1. So d psi equals to d phi into 1 means d phi equal to mu naught I by 2 pi x dx. So now the total flux linkage you can written as total internal flux plus total external flux. So equals to, of course, the total external flux that you can write it as psi external equals to integral r to infinity mu naught I by 2 pi x dx. So this is the external flux linkage. Now after obtaining the external flux linkage, the overall flux linkage is the sum of the internal flux linkage and external flux linkage, which is mu naught I by 8 pi plus integral r to infinity mu naught I by 2 pi x dx. This is the total flux linkage, which is the sum of internal and external flux linkage. So by taking mu naught I by 8 pi common, 2 pi common, it will be 1 by 4 plus integral r to infinity dx by x. So in this way we can write the total flux linkage, which is the sum of internal flux linkage and external flux linkage. Next, now let us derive the expression for inductance of a single phase 2-wire line. So far we have seen how to write the total flux linkage in a single current carrying conductor. Now we are going to derive the inductance of, say, single phase 2-wire line. So consider a single phase 2-wire line having two parallel conductors, so which are carrying a currents of I amperes and minus I amperes. Minus I means if the conductor A is carrying a current of I amperes in this direction, then the conductor B will be carrying a current of same magnitude of I amperes in the opposite direction. So radius of each conductor is r meters and the distance between two conductors is d meters. See here, Ia equals to Ib, means current carrying by two conductors is same. Ia equals to Ib equals to, let us take I. So let us derive the inductance of conductor A. In order to derive the inductance of conductor A, first we need to derive the flux linkage of conductor A. So the flux linkage of conductor A due to its own current is mu. Just now we have derived the expression. So from that we can write mu naught into its current, that is Ia by 2 pi into 1 by 4 plus integral r to infinity dx by x, means which is the sum of internal flux and external flux. Now flux linkage with conductor A due to current Ib. See here we will be having the flux linkage of conductor A because of its own current Ia, and we will be having flux linkage of conductor A because of current in the other conductor. Here the other conductor is carrying a current Ib. Because of that we need to write the flux linkage of conductor A. So that part is mu naught into Ib by 2 pi integral d to infinity dx by x. Here as the conductor B is located outside of the conductor A. So while writing the flux linkage of conductor A, because of current IB of the other conductor, we need to write the external flux linkage format. External flux linkage format equation is mu naught into I by 2 pi. Here I is 2 pi IB into integral. Here you need to take the distance between two conductors. So distance between two conductors is d to infinity dx by x. Now the total flux linkage of conductor A is psi A equals to mu naught Ia by 2 pi into 1 by 4 plus integral r to infinity dx by x. This is flux linkage due to its own current Ia plus mu naught Ib by 2 pi integral d to infinity dx by x, which is the flux due to current Ib. Now taking mu naught by 2 pi as common, see the simplification process. It will be 1 by 4 plus ln of infinity minus ln of r plus ln of infinity minus ln of d into Ib from second part. It will be mu naught by 2 pi into Ia by 4 minus Ia into ln of r minus Ib into ln of d. Then it will be mu naught by 2 pi into Ia by 4 plus Ia into ln of d minus Ia into ln of r. Here we have taken Ia equals to Ib. So that's why both are same, again both are taken as I. So now mu naught Ia, it will be mu naught Ia by 2 pi, mu naught by 2 pi into Ia by 4 plus Ia into ln of d by. Now mu naught Ia by 2 pi into 1 by 4 plus ln of it is ln of d by r. Ia is taken as common. Now inductance of conductor A is we can write the inductance as flux linkage per unit ampere of current. So here inductance of conductor A is flux linkage of conductor A by current of conductor A, that is psi A by Ia. So from this psi A by Ia means psi A is the flux linkage which we have derived now. By taking of Ia, we will get mu naught by 2 pi into 1 by 4 plus ln of d by r henries per meter. Now if you simplify this by keeping mu naught equals to 4 pi into 10 power minus 7, this becomes 2 into 10 power minus 7 into 1 by 4 plus ln of d by r. I can write this 1 by 4 as ln of e power 1 by 4 there. Now it becomes ln of a plus ln of b. I can write it as ln of a. So like that 2 into 10 power minus 7 into ln of d by r into e power minus 1 by 4. Now it becomes 2 into 10 power minus 7 into ln of d by r dash, where r dash is the e power minus 1 by 4 into r, which is generally 0.7788 into r. So this is the expression for inductance of conductor A of single phase 2-wire line. Similarly, if you write the inductance of conductor B, you will be getting same expression as 2 into 10 power minus 7 into ln of d by r dash. See here, the exact meaning of r dash is r dash equals to 0.7788 into r, which is generally said to be geometric mean radius, which is the fictitious radius of the conductor. Which is having no internal flux linkage. If you write the expression of the inductance of a conductor having radius r, you will be having 2 into 10 power minus 7 into 1 by 4 plus ln of d by r. If you write the expression for inductance of a fictitious conductor having a radius r dash, you will be getting 2 into 10 power minus 7 into ln of d by r dash. Where is the first term 1 by 4? There is no term of 1 by 4. That means you are not having internal flux linkage term. That means r dash is the fictitious radius of the conductor having the no internal flux linkage. So in this way we can see the inductance of a single phase 2-wire line. Thank you.